So now we're going to have a presentation from Shelley Groff, who is the president of the Union for Reform Judaism, and we are blessed to have her here in our community. And she will be able, do you want me to do the video first, or do you want to speak? Okay, so we're going to have a video from Rabbi Rick Jacobs. He is the rabbi of the URJ, and so we're going to see a presentation from him first, and then Shelley will speak.
Temple Israel of Greater Miami, I send you my blessing and my support and strength at this critical moment in your long and distinguished history. Founded in 1922, and having served the community not only of Miami but of South Florida for over 100 years with such distinction and with such impact. As you literally begin the process in the coming weeks of sunsetting this great congregation, I'm sure there are a lot of very mixed emotions, but I want to say to you, kol hakavod, all strength to you for the way in which you have impacted literally tens of thousands of Jewish lives. You've given so many generations of our people not only an understanding of Judaism, but a practice of vibrant, meaningful Jewish life. You've shaped some of the bigger issues of South Florida because of the pulpit and the strength of your commitment to social justice and civil rights and standing against the war in Vietnam. So many examples of the courage and the convictions of your members and your rabbis and leaders. I am sure also, as you think about all of these wonderful years, that you were the largest congregation in Miami, at one point with 1,800 households, and to look at the beautiful building and the community. Jewish life is about changing and adapting to new circumstances and new situations, and your courageous decision to sunset Temple Israel of Greater Miami is an example of leadership. And let me just tell you that all of the good that you have done through the decades, it doesn't disappear. It remains. And I want you to know that your reform movement celebrates you, honors you, and loves you, and sends you our vital and vibrant commitment to a Jewish future that will continue to grow in South Florida. Look at South Florida today. There's so many congregations, and there's so much strength. You were the trailblazers in making that happen. So as we say at the end of a book of study, or maybe after 103 years of Jewish life, chazak, chazak, v'nit chazek, be strong, and continue to strengthen one another as we cherish you and celebrate you this day. May God watch over this wonderful community, and may we continue to go from strength to greater strength.
So, even though I said go ahead and show the video, I have to share. There's a piece of wisdom that is passed on every 4 years from one URJ board chair to the next, and that is try never to speak after Rabbi Jacobs. So I'm going to do my best. But really, I'm going to do my best because it's an honor to be here in person on behalf of the URJ, on behalf of our reform movement, and especially personally, to honor Temple Israel of Greater Miami. We honor the lasting impact, the vital legacy that you, all of you, your lay leaders, clergy, professional staff, and most importantly, congregants, what you have created here in this sacred space that will indeed live on long into the future. Several years ago at a URJ biennial, Mark, I think you might have been there, Rabbi Jacobs introduced the term audacious hospitality. And it referred to a community culture and an environment within and throughout a congregation that goes beyond what we often call warm and welcoming. It meant being intentional, being proactive, making sure that everyone who enters our congregations and our spaces know that they are with their people, they're with family. And as he described the concept from the stage, I immediately immediately thought of Temple Israel of Greater Miami. Because this beautiful community has been and is just that, whatever the occasion, wherever it is taking place on this campus, whoever is leading it. In my role as URJ chair, I have the good fortune to experience many different congregations all over North America, and I can honestly say nobody, and I mean nobody, does welcoming quite like Temple Israel. This community is a model to strive for when we think of what it means to be a Jewish community, where all are welcome as and for who they are, to be together and in being together to nurture each other. And even as you embark on this transition and what happens on and in this sacred space changes, that is forever a legacy of this extraordinary congregation, this extraordinary community. I honestly do not remember a time during which I didn't know Temple Israel. I was born in Miami. I grew up in North Miami Beach. Everybody knew Temple Israel. About 34 years ago, when I was expecting my son, it was Temple Israel that gave me a place to celebrate Shabbat on the radio. Every Friday night, I listened to Shabbat services from my home. It was the first time in my life that I regularly experienced a Shabbat service. And thus I felt the beauty of the rhythm of Shabbat and those prayers, those blessings that are the core of our Jewish observance. And I recall later coming here in person, just coming to pray on Shabbat morning, and so quickly feeling like I was among friends, I started coming every week. And I will always remember with gratitude, I wrap up with gratitude, you're so right, that phone call that I received one day. I had missed a few weeks due to travel and family obligations and other things, and I got a call asking if I was okay because I hadn't been here in a while. I felt so noticed, I felt seen. That small gesture, that kindness, that evidence of authentic care touched my soul, and to me, that's Temple Israel of Greater Miami. And at the same time, while nurturing community inward, this congregation's vision extended outside these walls, outside this campus. As Rabbi Jacob spoke of, you led the way in South Florida to not just be Jewish, but to live Jewish values every day, whether it's hosting early South Florida interfaith meetings, establishing the first Head Start program, speaking out for civil rights, and bringing our Jewish values to the context of the Vietnam War. Miami is a stronger, more compassionate, better community because of this congregation's foresight and leadership and values. Now, I learned that while every congregation is unique and is special, and they are, there are commonalities and there are trends. And as Rabbi Mitch spoke of, we know that a trend in religious life in this country, not just in Reform Judaism, not just in Judaism, but in all religious life, is a different type of belonging than what I might call traditional congregational membership. People want to belong to something, to be part of a community, absolutely. Those communities aren't always congregations. Things are changing. And to state the obvious, right, change is hard. What you are doing is really hard. There are so many emotions in this room today. Of course there are. How could there not be? And an observation I need to make is this. Even as you, our beloved Temple Israel, are in the midst of this really difficult change, being the congregation that you are finding a way to keep these holy grounds a sacred Jewish space for the benefit of current and future generations. You could have decided to just close shop, sell the property, move on. And I've seen any number of congregations do that, sadly. Folks move away, the next generation decides to do Jewish differently, families move, times change, neighborhoods change, how people gather changes. There's so many reasons that that can happen. And often in communities where that happens, a site that was once a center of vibrant Jewish life, a beloved synagogue, becomes something else. Sometimes it becomes a secular space, sometimes a church, retail, something else. But that's not you. Your board, your leadership, the congregation that you are so Temple Israel of Greater Miami, leading as you always have for the benefit of our community, recognizing the importance of looking into the future and envisioning a Jewish community of belonging in this holy place built on the foundation that you so lovingly created. So although the day-to-day activities here will change, this space that you have built and nurtured as a congregation for 103 years will always be the home of the congregation that inspired, led, and nurtured so many. Chazak, chazak, v'ni chazek, be strong, and let us, the Miami Jewish community, strengthen each other. Toda Rabah. Thank you, Temple Israel.